Benvenuto! Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to revisit one of our earlier recipes for a couple reasons. We've gotten better at filming and editing, and I just felt like having Salisbury steak tonight. So that's what we're going to have for dinner. That's what we're going to make. All right, so Salisbury steak. First thing we do is I've got 2 pounds of ground beef. This happens to be really lean ground beef, only because that's what was left in the store. I went out shopping kind of late last night, and that's all they had out there. You can use 85/15, whatever you prefer. I think this is like 93/7 or something like that. All right, so to make our Salisbury steak delicious, we're going to need some breadcrumbs. Store-bought breadcrumbs, I'm already all out of my homemade breadcrumbs. Although those might have a little bit more seasoning in them than I would want for this recipe. These are seasoned breadcrumbs, but anyway, so we're gonna need a half a cup of that. We're gonna need 1 egg. We need some beef broth. We're gonna make a nice gravy with this. Also, we're gonna need some milk. I got a half a cup milk there. We're gonna need good old Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna need some beef base. You can use whatever you want. This happens to be the Better Than Bullion. You can use regular bouillon, a couple bouillon cubes if you want, dissolved in a little tiny bit of water, or if you use the granules, that happens to be the beef base. We're gonna need some salt and pepper. I got a teaspoon of each. We're gonna need some cornstarch for the end because we're gonna make a nice gravy, like I said. And we need a couple vegetables. All right, so now you need at least 1 big onion or 2 medium-sized ones. That's a pretty big onion. That's really dependent on you. If you like lots of onions, put as many in as you want. And we need some mushrooms. Same thing with mushrooms. Now, mushrooms is not particularly me and Wade's favorite thing. We do like it, you like a little bit to give it a flavor. So I'm just gonna use maybe 2 or 3 of these. All right, so these are just white mushrooms. All right, you break out the little stem because you don't wanna eat that. It's not necessarily delicious. And then to clean them, all you're gonna do is, since I've already cleaned those, take a little piece of paper towel and just give them a brushing. Not too hard. You might see a little brown specks there fall off. All right, you never want to wash mushrooms because then they're gonna not do what they're supposed to do. But so brush it off. That's not dirt, that's part of the mushroom. All right, so there we go. That's all there is to it. All right, so then with our onion, I'm just gonna give you an idea of how I do it anyway. All right, so I'm gonna take my onion, cut it in half. And I like it to, there to be the strings of onion. So I'm just gonna slice it up like that. Try not to cut my finger off. Again, just in case anybody's out there, this knife, it is a sharp knife. I still remember revisiting our old ones. One of our first videos, I think when I made the baked beans, which has been our most popular video. What are we up to, hon? Like 22,000 views or something like that? Yeah. If you haven't made them, make them. But somebody kept harassing me about that I needed a sharper knife, and I did. But at this one, which Wade bought me, a beautiful set of really sharp knives over there. But I don't like to use those on my plastic cutting board, so. All right, so we can get rid of those. Oops, got stuck. All right, and then as far as your mushrooms, you take your mushroom, do it there, slice it up any way you want. Slice them. Like that. And I think for tonight, I would like to get that one a little thinner. Yeah, we're gonna use 2. We'll use that other one tomorrow for some nice eggs or something. All right, there you go. That's all there is to it. Set these aside because we don't quite need those yet. All right, for our Salisbury steak. Okay, so I'm gonna take my milk here and crack my egg into it. Oh, look at that, not one shell. Yay! All right, put this aside. And this. All right. Now we need a fork and a spoon just to get that all out of there. And we can add our beef base into our milk and egg. Get out of there. Alright, don't need those anymore. And let me just wash my... Oh, I don't need to do that yet. Alright, we need our Worcestershire sauce. And what I think we need... 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce. One, two, and our salt and pepper. Right over there, and let's give that a mix. Now normally I use a bigger pan, the frying pan you'll see in a minute, than when I'm on at the stove. But since it's easier to tape over here, I'm gonna, the big frying pan doesn't work with the magnet. I need to, oops, I got my eggs over there, I didn't want to do that. I need a bigger frying pan, honey, for over here.
Pick one out.
I know it. You know me, until I find the exact perfect one I want. All right. I'll put that in there. Now I'll go give my hands a rinse just in case I got some egg on me. I lost my paper towel down there. All right, and then we'll take our breadcrumbs, sprinkle around, and let's give that a mix. Now let's get that mixed in well. And that might look like it's a bit wet, but mix it around. It smells good.
It does.
But that really isn't too wet, guys. We're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes or so. Let everything get nicely absorbed in there. All right. And you let it sit for 5-10 minutes on the countertop, it'll be fine. Okay, I'll go wash my hands and we'll be back. All right, everybody, so our Salisbury steak mixture has sat for 10-15 minutes. All those nice flavors got absorbed. This recipe will easily feed 4 really big eaters, but easily 6, maybe even 7, 8, depending upon how you want to how big you want your patties, okay? So you see I've got my meat out down there, and then what I usually do is I'll just kind of cut down, just kind of portion them out a little bit, all right? So I know, so we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes I make really big ones, and I only do 4, but we'll do 6 today. All right, so I've got my frying pan warmed up. Because this beef is so lean, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, just because this isn't a non-stick pan, so we're not inventing the wheel here. We're just gonna, if I could take my ring off, I'd take it off, but I can't. All right, so we're just gonna make these into little patties. You'll see it has, definitely is not as moist as when we were mixing it. Everything has been kind of absorbed. So the traditional shape of a Salisbury steak is usually kind of like a football, right? Egg football, kind of football shape. So you can do whatever you want. You can do patties. You could do little footballs. It doesn't really matter. We'll give it a little bit of shape. We don't want it too thick because we want it to cook through without getting dried out. So, again, no rocket science here, making a little patty. All right, we'll put it in our pan. Ooh, got a nice sizzle. Our pan was nice and hot. And I'll do a couple of these while we're here. And the goal here is we want to get these nicely brown. We don't have to worry about them necessarily cooking through. They are going to be cooked all the way through, but right now we just want to get them browned on both sides. And I think I'll do 3 at a time. That's going to be a big one. So we have had our Oreo feeder out for about 2 weeks, maybe even more. Well, no, it's today, the 13th, yeah, maybe about 2 weeks. Haven't gotten any Oreos showing up yet. Where are you? All right. So we have browned beef many times. It's going to probably take 4 or 5 minutes on a medium high if you're going to stand over and watch it. You know that as soon as you can move the meat easily, and we'll come back and I'll show you that, it's nicely browned. So I'll get these browned up and we'll be back. All right, guys. So you can see we've been frying this on medium high for about 5 minutes. And if you just take that, see how that lifts? All right, so you've gotten a nice brown on that side. Oop, that one's not quite coming up. That one is. And I'm gonna do the same to the other side. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing, get all of our little Salisbury steak patties browned up, and then we'll go on to the next step. See you in a bit. All right, well, there's no way I was going to get everything I needed into that pan, so we've moved to the range. All right, so now I have added a little bit of olive oil because we're going to saute our onions and our mushrooms. Like I said, that meat was really lean. I wouldn't normally need to do that, but put it in there so we can start to brown up our onions. So we're going to get our onions in first because they're going to take a little longer than the mushrooms. We'll get them coated in our oil and scrape up any little font we got. And then there's all of our patties, all nicely fried, both sides, browned, I should say. Let me taste that. That's delicious. So we can put our heat up a little bit. And we don't really need to brown these or really cook them all that much because, again, we're going to braise these in our soup stock, or I should say our beef broth, along with the patties as they cook up. Let me just sneak behind us, grab a little bit of salt. We can put a little bit of pepper on there, won't hurt. And we just want to let those saute a bit for about 2-3 minutes. Break them up a bit. I'm getting hungry. All right, we'll see you in about 2 minutes. All right, you don't know if you can pick that up or you can see, but they have just started to turn a little brown. That's where we want them. We don't need them to be any more brown. We'll add our few mushrooms in. And basically, I'm going to do the same thing. Move them around, break them up, get out of there. And we'll let those saute for a good minute or two. Now the next step is very important. Once we get these just nicely heated, a little bit of color on them, we're going to add our beef broth. And it's very important that you bring that to a boil. All right? We're getting a little bit more color on there too. Because we're going to add our beef patties back to this and then reduce it to simmer. But it is important to bring the stock to a boil. All right, I can smell a little bit of mushroomy. So I think that's good. Just want to get them separated. And they're just starting to get a little weepy. All right, so we got our beef broth. I'm going to turn my heat up to high. Ooh, that's hot. So that's 4 cups. There we go. Get it all out. We paid for it. Mix it around a little bit, and we're gonna bring that to a boil. All right, our beef broth has come to a boil, and we get out of there. I'm gonna place our big, gigantic, if I can pick them up, Salisbury steaks. We can turn that down a bit. And just kind of float them all in the bowl. Oop. Uh-oh. Disaster. Oh, experiencing some technical difficulties. Ooh. All right, we're back. Yay!
To the left, that's it.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Just turned off on you.
Oh, no. You did remember to charge it, right?
I'm still charged.
All right. All right, so we got all our steaks in there, our hamburgers. Salisbury steaks, whatever we want to call them. All right, and it's just, now that's a high simmer right there. Actually, I would still call that, say it's boiling. It's hard to tell. I know a lot of times you hear the simmer or this or that, but on my range, I know simmer is somewhere in between 2 and 4. All right, so I'm going to loosely cover this. All right, just because we don't want all of our nice broth to evaporate. All right, so, and that's going to take about 20 minutes, and then the Salisbury steaks will be fully cooked. And then we'll make our slurry, and we'll make a beautiful gravy. See you in a little bit. All right, our Salisbury steaks have been simmering for, I'm just gonna, just a little over 20 minutes. They're simmering a little bit higher because I turned up the heat to get ready for the next step. All right. So we're gonna take our steaks out. Don't worry if you pick up a onion or two or a mushroom. And I'm putting them on the plate I'm gonna serve them on. We're trying at least. Is it gonna fit? And I don't think you guys can hear that, but one of our cats is meowing in the background to come up from downstairs, which she just wanted to go down. Alright, you get the idea anyway. I'm trying to fit him on this small platter. Hot. That will work. Alright, so now, the reason I turned that up is because we want to do our slurry, and of course we want that to be boiling. Alright, so I've got just about a half a cup of water here, less than a half a cup of cornstarch. I might not need this much, but especially when I'm doing something like this or we're filming, I like to use a little bit more. So you just want to stir that together till there's no lumps. But like I said, I make a little bit more than I need so I don't have to stop and remake it for you guys. Alright, so our stock is back up to a boil. And we're gonna just drizzle this in. And you want to do it slowly till it reaches the consistency that you particularly want. I like it to be maybe just less consistent than a gravy, but more than a sauce. More in. All right, and there you have it. That's about the consistency I like it to be. And the longer you let it boil, the thicker it will get. All right, well, my original plan of pouring this over our steaks is not going to work because I chose too small of a platter. So, look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? All right, we can turn it down. I'll be right back. I want to grab a spoon. I'm sure it's going to be delicious, but I'm going to just give it a taste for salt and pepper. Get it over here. And of course, it's perfect. All right, guys. I'm going to move everything back over to the counter, and we'll plate. At least we'll make this look nice on a platter. See you in a little bit. Okay, now that I've had to go to bigger pans, bigger platters, Wade's going to have, it's going to take him forever to edit this. But anyway, so I just wanted to show you. So we got them on a little bit of bigger platter. And you want to take some, our beautiful gravy. And just dribble a little over each one. And of course, we're going to serve up the rest of the gravy on the side, in case anybody wants a little more, which I'm sure they will. And there's my version of Salisbury steak. Oop, wait a minute. We need a little bit more gravy on him. There, picture perfect. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm hungry.
Always hungry.
Thank you. All right, what do you want to try first? Because we're actually kind of doing a double tasting. Because we did the rice pilaf.
Yeah.
So, and our Salisbury steak today. So, what do you want to go in first?
Now we'll go for the meat.
All right.
Salisbury steak.
Oh, look at that. Perfectly done. Yummy.
Nice gravy.
Beautiful gravy. That's good.
Good. Delicious.
I mean, it doesn't taste like roast. It doesn't taste like because a lot of people think it's just meatloaf. But at least in this, the recipe I use is totally different from my meatloaf recipe.
Yeah.
It's got, and with the brown gravy and the beef bouillon base, it does have a bit of a steaky taste.
It does.
Yeah. And what about your rice pilaf?
Delicious. I always love homemade rice pilaf.
That's delicious. All right, well, I'll sit and eat for a minute.
Yeah. Better than the store-bought, let me tell you that. Delicious.
Okay, I like it.
Please like and subscribe. Check out cherryhillhomecooking.com. See you on the next video.
Ciao.
Bye.
Nom, nom, nom.